So this is the last panel out of 8 panels. After this, I'm done. Well, close to done. There's some other stuff to do, which I might cover in a later video. But let's just say for now, this is the last panel, and it's pretty much done for the project. So what I've done first here is tape this face off with some painter's tape so that it doesn't get scratched, because I have it laying face down and I don't want to scratch that edge. I've got my fabric cut. I didn't show a video of me doing that because it's it's not very interesting. I don't have a fancy setup for cutting fabric. I just laid it out on the table, and essentially I used a chalk line. I snapped a chalk line on it so I could make straight cuts. So that's how I cut the fabric. This is the face of the fabric of the panel, excuse me, and excuse me, and that is the back. So I've got these strips of wood. I covered it in one of my previous videos. In order for these strips not to bleed through, excuse me, not to bleed through the fabric, I painted the face, and I did that. I painted an entire piece, and then I just ripped it on the saw, so I didn't have to individually paint these. So with these strips, there's no exact measurement. It's sort of go by feel, and actually as I'm installing the fabric, I have to make some adjustments and trim some off and make them smaller. The small the small side goes in first, so I cut those first, and then I cut the longer edges. So the longer edges sort of wedge against the shorter edge here, just like that. So let's just take this long strip out real quick. So even when you cut these, I'll get this one out too. So even when you cut these, you can't cut them precise because fabric's going to be in between each side here. There'll be fabric there, so you have to undersize them a little bit. And there's no exact measurement to that. It's just kind of go by feel, and I've kind of figured out, like, sort of rocking it back and forth like that, that feel was where I wanted to be. If you get them too small, the face of the panel won't look good. It won't be crisp. The edges won't be crisp. So you don't want to undersize them too much, but you don't want to have them too big, as when you when you install these with the fabric, that you have to force them in there or that they bow out. You don't want that. So you basically just kind of get them close, and then you just make some adjustments as you work. So I'll just take this last piece out, or this one too, and then we'll unfold the fabric, see if I can do this one-handed. So doing this fabric, I'll have to say that it is a pain in the butt. This is not easy to do. I could probably do this 50 times and still wouldn't have an exact way of doing it. I do sort of have a system, but it's not an exact science. It's more like an art than it is anything else. It's just kind of do it as you go along and figure things out. I mean, I do have some kind of system here, but not as much of a system as I would like to have. So the way I've been doing this, so I'm trying to do this one-handed with the camera, is I've left these edges long because it gives me a nice extra piece to work with, makes it easier. I kind of line it up center-wise here, left and right on the sides. And then I take my finger and I just push the edges in like that. Come over here, use my other hand, get my finger out of the way. Sorry. And just kind of push that in there like that. Push the corners in like that. And I'll take my strip. Unfortunately, I can't do this one-handed, but I don't think I can. Let me see. like that, and then I'll kind of bend it in place like this, put a bow to it. Yeah, I can't do this one-handed. Anyways, basically I just sort of bow this piece in, and that's so that I grab each corner of the fabric evenly, and then I push it down. I wish I could show you this part, but yeah, it's not easy to do with just one hand. So we'll leave it at that. That's how I've been doing the face. Once that's installed, then I just staple. I put a bunch of staples on this strip to hold it in place. Also, stretching this fabric is, to get it right, you can't put too much stress on it, because then you tend to put, you'll put too much stress on the strip. The strip could come loose, or the frame of the panel could get bowed. It's got the supports, but if you put too much tension on it, it'll still bow the panel. If you don't put enough tension on the fabric, then it's just flopping around and it looks sloppy. So it's really, this fabric doesn't like to be over tensioned either. There's not a lot of give on this. You can't over tighten this, overstretch it rather. So again, that's like kind of an art form, just knowing by practice how much tension to put on it so that you don't have too much or too little. So that's tricky, but I have kind of got that down pretty good. So all right, I won't bore you anymore with my boring video here. So I want to make a final video showing all the panels finished. I might do one showing the fabric going on the back of the panel, but that's not very interesting either. You just lay the fabric over and staple it to the back of the panel, and that's about it. So stay tuned for the last video, just going over the panels and showing them and sort of talking about the project. And yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.